In a developing story, House Bill 1001, also known as Lauria and Ashley's Law, passed in the House this week. It's been 25 years since two 16-year-old girls from Welch, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, were kidnapped, raped, tortured, and killed.
Their bodies have never been found. Fox 23's Paris Rain talked to Laura's mom, Lorraine, today to learn what's next as the family pushes to prevent what they call a nightmare from happening to any other family.
On December the 29th of 1999, Laura went to her best friend Ashley Freeman's house to celebrate her 16th birthday. Unfortunately, she never come back home. Somebody, the night of the 29th, went into the Freemans. They shot and killed Daddy and Kathy, and they abducted the girls and burnt the house to the ground. 25 years later, we still don't know where the girls' bodies are.
Lauria Bible says it's a nightmare she wishes on no other family and wants legislators to understand how important House Bill 1001, also known as Lauria and Ashley's Law, is not just for both families involved, but for every family in Oklahoma.
They need to understand this could be them at any time. And then this day and age, your neighbor's not your neighbor. You don't know who people are.
Fox 23 has brought you more than 2 decades of coverage about the two teens' disappearance. A previous form of the bill made it out of the House last year, but was not considered on the Senate floor.
We had to put it on the back burner for about 6 months, and Steve Bayshore and the House Representative said, hey, we're going to do this again. You know, you in for the long haul? Well, I'm always in for the long haul. We went back to it again, except this time we had to go through 2 different committees in the House this time.
The bill would require anyone convicted of accessory to murder to serve 85% of their sentence before they are ever eligible for early release in any capacity. This is Ronnie Busick, the only living suspect charged in the Welch case. He was released from prison for good behavior after serving just 3 years of his 10-year sentence, which then expired the bill.
I want them to know this isn't about being a Democrat. This isn't about being a Republican. This isn't politics. This is a mom and a dad that a child has been taken from them. You can't find your child, but you find the people responsible and holding them people accountable.
Bible says Busick now has more rights than Laura does.
You always want your kids, to grow up, to become, members of society, to have families of their own, careers of their own. For me as a mom, Laura didn't get to do that.
House Representative Steve Bayshore said this bill would assure families of victims that any person convicted and sentenced to participating in such a crime would have a longer time behind bars, saying in a quote, "This bill is named after 2 girls in my House district in the prime of their lives when they were brutally tortured, raped, and murdered. Yet the person who admitted to participating in these crimes served less than 3 years in prison and had his prison sentence reduced because of credits earned for things such as maintaining good hygiene. He then was allowed to move less than 20 miles from the mother of one of the girls. This law is trying to keep these types of perpetrators in prison for at least 85% of the time to which they are sentenced." I asked her what she has to say to those in the Senate who will soon vote on the bill.
When they go in there, when they see this bill from the House and they're looking at it, to look at it as mothers and fathers, grandparents. Because this isn't a political bill. This is straightforward. This is a loved one. And at any point, it can be your loved one. That you could be in the very same situation.
Covering news that matters, Paris Rain, Fox 23 News.
Lorraine says they are still offering a $50,000 reward for information that leads to finding the girls' remains. You can submit information anonymously to the family. We have a link in this story on fox23.com.